Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Tom's Corner, where you hear the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Topic lesson today: have we become hybrids? Think about it. You ready? That's enough thinking. Let's go into it. A mule is a hybrid animal, specifically the offspring of a male donkey slash jack and a female horse mare. Mules are known for their strength, endurance, and short footedness, inheriting desirable traits from both their donkey and horse parents. I think we know that. Most of us, especially living on a farm, automatically knows that. But some of you that live in the city, you don't know anything about that. Okay, key characteristics of mules. Mules are not a breed, but a cross between two different species or exquisines, hybrid nature. Sterility. Mules are typically sterile, meaning they cannot reproduce. And hybrid vigor. Mules often exhibit hybrid vigor, meaning they are stronger and more resilient than either of their parent species. Physical traits. Mules inherit a mix of physical characteristics from the horses and donkeys, including a horse-like body with longer ears and more donkey-like head. Now, while attempts have been made to create human slash animal chromias, like human slash monkey chromias, these embryos are usually terminated before they develop very far. Okay, big question on that one. Okay, now let's go on. Example of human animal hybrids mainly include humanized mice by, now this is a toughie here, big word, exonotransplantation of human genes. Now the experts will pronounce it right. Now humanized mice are commonly used as small animal models in biological medical research for human therapeutics. Did you know that? I doubt if you did. I really didn't. Now, human slash animal hybrids are subject to what? Moral laws. Now, that one's a good one there. They're subject to moral laws. And I'm asking you a question, and I'm stop right. Would you ever see any of these people have moral laws? Huh? They experiment on human beings, your own people, your own countrymen for years. Okay, also raising ethical concerns about animal welfare. And they really care about animals too. Human dignity. Oh, yes, human dignity, of course. And man, it sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? You know, once these people start this crap, they stay right into it all the way. All right, now, and the potential for unintended consequences. Okay, motivation for creating human slash animal hybrids. Studying disease. Human animal hybrids can be used to study the development and progression of diseases like cystic fibrosis, Parkinson's, and AIDS, potentially leading to new therapies. Drug testing. Hybrids can be used to test new drugs and therapies. Okay. How about organ transplantation? One of the most promising applications and the potential to grow human organs in animals for transplantation, addressing the organ shortage. In conclusion, human slash animal hybrids represent a cutting edge area of research with the potential to revolutionize medicine and other understanding of biology. Lord have mercy. Doesn't that sound sweet? Sound like everything gonna be okay. I'd like to know where they're getting all the genetic genes from. Oh, from human beings? Huh? How do they do that? How would you like to be a mouse and wake up and had a brain of a human being in you? Sickening, isn't it? Huh? Sickening. Listen to this one. Top 10 animals / human hybrids ever created. The goat / sheep, Crimea. Rabbit eggs with human cells. The first successful human / animal, Crimeas, were reported in 2003. Pigs with human blood? I didn't know that either. Sheep with human livers? Didn't know that either. Mouse / here it is, human liver. Cow eggs, didn't know about this one, with human cells in them. Cat / human hybrid proteins. Mouse / human brain. Let's go on. Matthew 24:37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also coming the Son of Man be. While the book of Enoch does not explicitly use the term genetic alteration, it describes action by the watchers, that's what they refer to them, fallen angels, who descended to earth that resulted in significant changes to the natural world, including potential modifications related to animals and specifically birds. Corruption of the earth, the action of the watchers and the Nephilim brought corruption to the world, extending beyond humanity and affecting the animal kingdom as well. Development of animals. The book mentions that the watchers defiled animals, leading to the creation of various species, including wild beasts and birds. According to the Jubilee psalmist, this suggests a departure from the natural order established by God. Now, restoration and redemption. The idea of a new heaven and a new earth is central to the biblical narrative of creation, fall, redemption, and restoration. It signifies God's plan to undo the effects of sin and death, bringing about a perfect and renewed creation. Now, I'm giving you Bible. I'm giving you scientific evidence. Let's go back to the Bible again. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The verse in full reads, "What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done. There is nothing new under the sun." Let me say that back part again. There is nothing new under the sun. If they played around with genetics and alterations prior to the flood, oh, they are going to do it again, and that's in the days we're living in now. Now, Genesis 6:4 describes the Nephilim as being on earth before the flood, when the sons of God, / often interpreted as angels, cohabited with daughters of men. We know that, so most of us do. These unions resulted in the Nephilim described as mighty men of old, men of renown. Now, there are beings in history that they have, and you've already read them in history about what they refer to as the ox with the upper part of a human man body. We don't know if there are actually records of that were passed on through Noah and books concerning these things, and then the people that lived after the flood had the books and they read them and they talked about this type of altering. Could it be an altering? I don't know. Or could it be a myth? I don't know. But by golly, that's some weird looking stuff going on prior to and after. Now listen to this. After the flood, angels, now listen, tradition were a hybrid race resulting from the union of angels and humans after the flood. Numbers 13:33 mentions the Nephilim being present in Canaan after the Israelites escaped Egypt. 2 Samuel 23 and 20 says this, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a violent man of Kabzeel, who has done many acts. He slew two. Now this is what I want to bring to you. He slew two lion-like men of Moab. Now could these two be hybrids spoken about after the flood? Alterations? Now this was in a time of David, King David, and this one individual is part of David's army. First Chronicles 11:22 says the same thing as 2 Samuel 23 and 20 concerning the lion-like men. Now, why, you'd say, well, why is all this thing happening? Why does the fallen angels come on the earth and try to do that again? They're trying to disrupt the genetic fact that Christ had to come through. And when Christ created Adam and Eve, their genetics were there, and people tried to influence the demonic spirits and, the fallen angels tried to interject their genetics into it. Thus they made God a liar. Okay, now are we living in the age of hybrids? That's the question. The same as it was before the flood. I think personally it's worse. Okay, now think about it. They don't tell you these things. If you saw how the sheep were cloned, that's cloning, okay? Talking about the sheep being cloned and one, there it is, or you go get your dog cloned, or that's the same dog and everything. So that's cloning. But we're talking even more than that. We're talking about splicing, putting things into this genetics that alter that specific being, human or animal. Now, think about it. A lot of things have washed up on the shores of New York lately, down from Montauk. Montauk is a big research. Genetic altering and the whole deal goes on there. They had years ago, Charleston, West Virginia. They were down gene splicing down in their institute, I believe it was. I saw it on the news. And it didn't take long for the people to raise up around that stuff. Okay, now, they try to do it in secret. Okay, it seems a lot of people want chips in their brains today. You've read about that. Put a little chip in the brain, what it does. Okay, China's developed one. They put a chip in your brain, and you're no longer what we call melancholy, sad and blue, or depressed. It gets you over your depression. Isn't that great? Sounds good, doesn't it? Are you waiting for yours? You don't have to take a pill no more. Okay. It means a lot of people want chips in their brains. How long before the mark of the beast? How long? Huh? Man, they're just setting you up for the mark, aren't they? Now, we'll all be, I don't even know. They're even talking. I don't want to get into this one. Okay, remember this. If you take the mark of the beast, there is no coming back. Remember that. And I'm going to tell you why there's no coming back. When you take the mark of the beast, in the chip and everything will program you to anything. Now listen. Any thoughts of Jesus, you won't have any more thoughts of Jesus. You won't be depressed about Jesus anymore, or going to heaven, going to hell. Doesn't matter anymore. It'll all be taken from you by the chip. And you say, that won't happen to you. Now here's the question. Did you take the shot? You know what I'm talking about. To save yourself. Sure you did. Next time you may not be so lucky. Huh? You took the one, what'd they tell you? Well, now the one cures it all. Did it cure it all? No. You were taking more, and then finally they come to the conclusion that these shots were not doing anything for you. Actually, what they were doing was they were blood clotting your system. And you've had heart problems, paralyzed, the whole deal from those shots. But you took them because you wanted to be safe and you wanted to live longer. Tell you something else is happening. These shots have a delayed effect, okay? You ain't dying the first week. You ain't dying the second week. By golly, months later, it offsets into your system really right, and you're dying from bad heart. You're dying from blood clots all over again. Why? You took the shot. Okay, next time you may not be so lucky. Do you believe in man for your salvation? Or do you believe in God? That's the biggest question. And you're going to come up to that because you're going to have to make that decision. By golly, I hope you do the right decision. God bless you. I'll see you the next trip.